distinguished ministers, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to address you today at the second OSCE Gender Equality Review Conference. The General Assembly's and the Security Council's resolutions on sustaining peace, adopted in 2016, have demonstrated a shift in the mindset and strategic priorities of the UN member states. Grounded in international human rights laws and standards, the resolutions committed to ensure that sustaining peace is based on the people-centered approach of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. They also emphasize that inclusivity is key to successful efforts to prevent, resolve, and rebuild from conflict, and is closely allied with the OSCE's own human dimensions approach to security. This approach ensures a central role for women. Inclusivity means adherence to the 2030 Agenda's pledge to leave no one behind and reach the furthest behind first. In this regard, the role of regional organizations is of utmost importance, and these principles are critical to all women, and in particular those facing unique and intersecting challenges like women with disabilities, Roma women, and poor rural women, who must be brought forward and recognized as critical agents of transformative change. They cannot and they will not be left behind. Also, the magnitude and complexity of global security threats, crises, and intra-state conflicts that frequently spill across borders has made the development of regional approaches to security management, peacemaking, protection, and prevention ever more critical. The UN Secretary General has identified prevention as his number one priority. His vision for the UN connects our efforts for peace and security, sustainable development, and human rights, not only in words, but in practice. He has called for a surge in diplomacy for peace, an overarching commitment to conflict prevention across the UN's peace and security, human rights, and development pillars, while identifying new elements that would contribute to enhance mediation capacity, especially for early engagement that would contribute to conflict prevention. For both the 2030 Agenda and the Sustaining Peace Agenda, gender equality is the vital ingredient. If an enabler and beneficiary, if women are not at the negotiations table and don't play key roles in decision making after a conflict, peace agreements are unlikely to be sustainable. And it's a proven fact. Women often lead dialogue processes to stop the slide into conflict and to build consensus after war and reconciliation. More women in our police and military make for more effective institutions to ensure our security. Women's participation improves operational efficiency, reduces corruption, diminishes sexual exploitation and abuses, and increases trust between authorities and civilians. And this is in addition to being a human rights and just thing to do. Over the years, the OSCE has carried out essential work to support women's empowerment and rights protection. The OSCE Action Plan for the Promotion of Gender Equality was a visionary and exemplary document. In 2004, it recognized that the full and equal participation of women and men is key to achieving peace, prosperity, and stability. This second OSCE Gender Equality Review Conference is now happening at a crucial time, and I commend you for gathering to review the implementation of that plan and to consider how to enhance the fulfillment of the gender equality related commitments in the OSCE participating states, as well as within OSCE structures. So please put the Agenda 2030 into that. In 2015, the global study of the implementation of the UN Security Council Resolution 1325 recognized the efforts of the OSCE and other regional and sub-regional organizations to integrate women, peace, and security commitments in their security, crisis response, human rights, or peace-building efforts. Being the largest security organization in the world, the OSCE has therefore played a leading role in gender mainstreaming security issues, policies, and programs. This, including through supporting the adoption of national action plans for women, peace, and security, encouraging women's participation in political life, facilitating the development of jurisprudence on women's rights, and engaging with women's organizations to strengthen early warning systems, a key part of prevention. But the analysis also shows that the implementation of gender equality agenda, including peace and security, remains uneven. With its comprehensive mandate, the OSCE can accelerate implementation of the global, regional, and national commitments at all levels. The OSCE and UN Women are working together to assist countries and women's organizations develop and implement national action plans on women, peace, and security. These plans provide blueprints for comprehensive reforms to support women's greater participation and protection in all areas. Hopefully, the OSCE could soon adopt its own action plan on women, peace, and security, as other regional organizations have done. UN Women is also actively cooperating with the OSCE on the advancement and adoption of gender equality legislation for the region. Together, we have supported legislation to combat human trafficking, domestic violence, as well as to ensure accountability in cases of conflict-related sexual violence. The OSCE and ODHR have been instruments in lending technical expertise of draft legislation from the international human rights perspective, and to ensure that gender is mainstreamed through new laws and policies. In closing, let me emphasize that despite all progress, women continue to remain unrepresented and underrepresented in peacemaking and conflict prevention efforts worldwide, including, unfortunately, in the OSCE area. Special measures are therefore needed to ensure the achievement of the goal of gender balance in all legislative, judicial, and executive bodies. The UN and regional organizations would help facilitate progress by investing in gender-sensitive conflict analysis and responsive conflict analysis, collecting more gender-disaggregated data, supporting gender-sensitive mediation, and developing professional gender-responsive management